so I shouldn't pick.
Welcome to the adult kick.
Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Adult Kickball Alliance podcast number 3. My name is Scott.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Alicia.
Steve.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. The first thing we're going to talk about today, and we kind of got off track before, is the games for the evening. I'll start with Steve, our head rep over here. Steve, can you tell us about the games you were a part of?
Good game tonight. It was the what are they? The Foot
Clan.
Foot Clan versus the guys in camo. I can never remember their names.
Oh boy.
Talk nerdy to me.
Talk nerdy. Yeah.
Good game all around. It was pretty even. Score ended up being Foot Clan 142. Wind was definitely a factor tonight. The wind was pushing everything to the north. It was a little hard to get the bunts and the kicks down.
Yeah, it rained earlier today in Tucson. Luckily, it cleared up for us. All right.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that will move Foot Clan into second place in the standings.
Really?
With the with the loss of Sons of Pitches tonight.
And what a loss it was!
Indeed.
What was the score to that game? That was your team, right, Jeff?
Yeah, it was my team that lost. It was not close, and I stopped keeping track.
I believe the ref over there told me that you lost like 7-0.
Sounds about right.
That sounds a little low, actually.
7-0.
I'm pleased with 7-0.
That's not bad.
That's not good.
No, it's not good. I mean, this is probably not the right venue for it, but screw it. We don't field very well. We make terrible decisions, and
On the field and in life, really.
Life, yeah,
yeah. And it's possible that some of us are focused on different things than playing the game. But
Like showing off poorly.
so what's our first topic?
We're like staring at passing cars because they're kind of.
We cannot. All right, mark that. We can't.
All right,
We cannot have.
We're about 4 minutes in. We're good. Remember that.
All right, well, I'll start with something I saw on the internet that I thought, it reminded me back in my college days, a new study that says 1/3 of Americans have a drinking problem.
That's I looked into that, Scott.
Oh, did you? Okay, we got some notes here.
That's not what that study said. No, I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure the headline of it is 1/3 of Americans
Well,
have a drinking problem.
that's what the Associated Press said. So let's hear what the real story is.
So the real story is that they're saying that currently 1 in 7 Americans have a drinking problem.
So that would be what, like
14%. 14.28 something. But they did say, yeah, Google it. It's compelling. They did say that 1/3 of adults in some point in their life did engage in problem drinking. Meaning, well, Scott, let's not conflate the two. Saying that 1/3 of Americans have a drinking problem, or that 1/3 of Americans at some point have had problem drinking, is a different thing. But
So are they meaning that they engaged in problem drinking one time or
No,
for a period of time?
No, I think it would be a period of time, and I think probably a lot of it is college, where people binge drink. And so I was interested in that as well. Like, what is their criteria for problem drinking? Spilling it on yourself,
Leaving a half a glass.
not knowing where to pour it. So some of the questions that they ask, and it's a spectrum, but some of the questions that they ask are: have you ever ended up drinking more or longer than you originally intended? Do you have a strong need or urge to drink? And has it interfered with any work or home responsibilities? Even things that are maybe hobbies that you enjoy that you are foregoing in favor of drinking?
I would say
That's very big
3/4
question.
of this panel has a
Well, hold
drinking
on.
problem.
Hold on. This is not like a score sheet. This is just a general idea, trying to give people a general idea of what problem drinking can look like. Not all people that do this are problem drinkers, but problem drinkers do all of this generally?
So I'm sitting around and I have a couple of beers Saturday night and I don't feel like taking out the trash and mopping the floor. So now I have a problem at home.
According to the government, yes.
Yes.
I think that's an oversimplification. And,
Not really, because in that questionnaire,
really,
it interfered with his home duties.
Yeah, that's right.
a single instance of interfering with something you are going to be doing does not constitute a pattern.
Is that the right one?
Oh yeah, that's it.
I think to say that is really reductive and doesn't really.
Huh? Oh, do you want all that beer?
You can't.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah,
No.
just take it.
I'll take one more.
Just take it.
All right.
Well, I was gonna drink that one.
All right.
That was rude.
He has a problem.
He has a problem.
Obviously, we're doing a podcast, but the beer takes precedence over this, so we should talk about him.
His problem is he didn't bring any damn beer and he took ours.
I'm not saying this to be insulting to anybody, but I am going to say that I think your initial defensiveness to this is based in a certain amount of self-doubt as to what, and I'm serious, I don't think you're a problem drinker.
Oh, I
But
don't doubt.
think
I've had
people-
problems with drinking.
I think
I don't
people
doubt that at all.
Are
Oh yeah, we've got
very easy to, go into a mode of denial as far as their drinking. I can say that right before my wife and I got married, I'm not going to get into the details,
It's
but
getting heavy right now.
but yeah, it's a little heavy. Basically, a revelation was made to us by somebody that pretty much changed our worldview, and I was drinking more than I should have. I didn't get any DUIs. I didn't engage in any risky behavior. Still went to work, but if we're talking about drinking in order to not think about something or to change your state of mind, I would fall under that category.
Okay.
Not everybody who engages in problem drinking is a fall down, go to Betty Ford clinic drunk.
Okay, I took this because, like this one, the way I read it, nearly 1/3 of adults in the U.S.
It's just we
engage
love
in
you,
problem
and
drinking.
you've got a problem.
Yeah,
We're afraid we're losing you.
I feel like you're talking to me like seriously here.
No.
But when I read that, I just remembered in college, they're like, if you have more than like 2 drinks in 1 week period on separate days, you have a drinking problem.
Yep.
I was like, the whole campus has a drinking problem. I don't care, let it go. You two, you're fine. That F-bomb deserves to get
is,
dropped.
but it
Because
is.
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. No, they don't have a drinking problem. They're just having a good time.
I'd be curious to see what publication said that 2 drinks a week,
It was like, yeah,
I believe it was the CDC.
2 drinks every 7 days
No.
constitutes a drinking problem.
2 drinks in one setting on more than one occasion in a 7-day period.
Yeah, so Monday you have
Well,
a
yeah,
couple
I would
drinks,
disagree with that.
Wednesday you have a couple drinks, they're like, you have a
Because
problem.
However-
I remember in college we would start out, you drink Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday while we're watching football we'll drink.
Yeah.
And it turned into, well, it's Monday Night Football, and then it ultimately turned into, well, it's Thursday, it's almost Friday. Now that was problem drinking. I will admit that.
Yeah, I think based on the guidelines that you were just talking about, I think obviously those guidelines are ridiculous. But after I read the article that we're referring to tonight, I did not really disagree with their assessment of what constitutes problem drinking.
Well, I think the problem here is that I read the headline and skimmed it. So, and I took it that, they're saying that 1/3, so many of us have drinking problems. There are people that have actual drinking problems. We know, like, it's, I think, very obvious for those people. I know someone, like, personally can't stop drinking. I'm talking about labeling all Americans as being like, you know what, 1/3 of them engage in very dangerous drinking.
Well, fortunately, the article did not do that.
Okay, I'm wrong. I screwed that up. I got defensive. I remember to talk about college, and I was wasted at the time reading this article. I was like, I take offense to that.
This did not help
You
your
said
point.
when I sober up, I'm gonna write a letter.
I forgot about it. Next day I was like, who wrote that article?
So another thing that you wanted to talk about was the Women's World Cup.
Oh yeah. If anybody's heard, which you probably haven't, the Women's World Cup is being held in Canada. The
in
Does
December.
anybody know anything about it?
About Canada?
About the Women's World Cup?
Oh,
I do know that
I
Canada
already
has-
forgot that's what we were talking
They
about.
got a great national anthem.
I don't think so.
Longest unsecured war
It's
in the
fantastic.
world.
Have you ever heard
It's
Rush
really
sing it?
No.
Rush sing it.
Rush Limbaugh.
No, they do have a good
Oh.
national anthem. It's in Canada. It's pretty good.
And it's pretty good. I'm not saying it's better than the U.S.
It's
national
better than
anthem.
the U.S. national anthem.
No, it isn't.
No.
Nothing's better.
Even if I did think so, I would not say so on a podcast. Particularly if I was like a public servant. So,
I wouldn't either if I was a public servant.
yeah, the Women's World Cup starts next couple of days, isn't it?
Yeah, seriously,
Really?
Japan?
Because their advertising budget must have been about $6 because I've heard nothing about it.
Yeah,
It's probably more than $6 because at that point,
Maybe
Probably-
12.
at that point, I don't think you put the $6.
It's also probably really targeted.
Yeah,
yeah.
Not to you.
In
yeah.
Canada? Because
Problem drinker men are probably not there.
Probably
Yeah.
targeted.
We're not that interested.
are you saying all those guys are busy watching WNBA so they can't watch the women's game?
WNBA is awful
Yeah,
to watch. The women's soccer is actually very enjoyable to watch. It's different than men's soccer, but
Because they fake less injuries?
they do fake a lot less injuries. Yes, unless you're Martha on Brazil, but they.
Oh, you're really into this.
Oh, I like all soccer, really. Yeah.
Oh.
Now,
Then you can turn your chair around and face that way.
Yeah.
Because this is America.
America.
women's soccer is just as entertaining to me as men's soccer.
Okay. Who's
softball.
favored to win?
U.S.
No way.
Yeah, U.S. and Germany are probably the favorites. Japan's kind of
I
a
heard
good dark
Japan's
horse.
like number one.
Well, Japan won last World Cup.
A lot of them, right?
No, Japan has only won one,
Okay.
and it was the last one. But Germany's won two, the U.S. has won two. And yeah, it's actually pretty enjoyable.
Oh,
I would ask you, have you watched women's international soccer?
hell no.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
What
Okay.
channel is it on? Because I've never seen it.
It's on no channel.
Sometimes it's on ABC, sometimes ESPN.
It's in Canada.
I'm just wondering if we know
Nobody even
anything
cares about
about the
Canada.
thing we're talking about.
No.
You see,
I
I'm beginning to see a pattern of I just read the headline, didn't understand the headline,
Yeah.
and made a false conclusion based on that.
Are they
And
playing
also,
in Canada?
We're talking
That
about.
is true.
It's true.
Are they women?
No, I'm talking about the problem drinking thing.
Oh.
And in the second topic of the night, a sport I have never watched, will not watch, I'm going to go ahead and say is terrible, without having seen it.
I didn't say it was terrible. I just think that.
Don't do that around the camera. That's all it's going to hear.
Yeah, I know. We're talking about important things here. Women's soccer, which is. I don't know why I brought that up.
I don't know why you put it on the topics list if...
You know what's more interesting is why don't we, is it the proper word, annex Canada? You ever thought about that?
We
Just kinda
tried
taking
that.
over?
It was called the War 1812.
yeah, for what?
I think we could put a lot of spas and like our recreational areas.
We could totally ruin Canada.
Yeah. We could just fill it full of American vacation spots. You got wilderness stuff.
I think it already is.
So we-
like
so
you
we-
can
so
already go there.
we
I
could
don't
turn them
know.
into rude
You work
douches.
in a passport office, right? Like,
Yeah.
So you know, like you can get this thing that allows you to
A
travel
little
to
card.
other countries.
Yeah, but then if we take it over, we could just make them take care of all that stuff. We'll go on their vacation.
Why do you gotta talk about it?
No? Don't like that?
I think it's...
Then all those Canadians.
are you seriously asking?
If I could, I would say we need to take Canada and Mexico.
Then I'd say you have a drinking problem.
You know, Mexico, I learned, is the only country in the world, and I might be wrong at this point, that does not
Well,
need
if the headline said it, then...
does not need to import anything. They actually have all the natural resources and everything they need to be self-sustained.
Or they just don't have stuff.
But
no,
they're not.
They're very natural. They're
Rich.
very rich in that natural.
But they're
resources.
just not organized. enough
They're
to
very
take
poor in
advantage.
infrastructure.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm saying,
for sure. Yeah.
We
If
can't
we
even
take-
fix Alabama, but you want to take over.
oh yeah, we take Mexico, we clean it up, and yeah, it's going to take a while. Think how powerful at that point that would be.
You know that the United States isn't even close to the top 10 in the world for industrialized nations for like child poverty, education.
We could do it.
I
It'll be
don't
fine.
think that we are in any position to tell another country how to make themselves better.
I think it was the new Call of Duty, in which we do, I think,
Jesus
have
Christ.
Mexico. I like this. And
All right, well, there you go.
they do their research.
If Call of Duty says it, then
It's real.
it is sound foreign policy.
Yeah, I think.
You know, I
what's his
came
name?
prepared because I thought we were going to have like,
Kevin Spacey is in that one too. I think,
I
right?
thought we were going to have like a serious discussion of issues.
You think he's really
This is
serious?
me.
Well, then let's move on to the third issue.
No,
All right,
that's what
all
I'm
right.
saying. Like, this
what's
is
the third
nonsense.
issue?
What's the next issue? We'll hit something on.
You tell me. Why don't you choose it so that way you don't
All right.
have
One
a.
left.
Yeah, there's a nasty beer that.
Then drink it. Oh, God, no.
Yeah, that's why I'm pissed. I'm still really pissed that he stole our beers, and that Scott told him he could.
I'll drink that.
I just wanted him out of here.
I'm not doing another podcast if there's not going to be enough beer for me during the podcast.
I don't know if you heard the last podcast, but there was a lot of talking behind the camera,
Yes.
and it was awful.
All right.
So I
What's
was
the
just
third
trying to get
topic?
him out.
Yeah, they would not shut up.
Beer and how
Okay,
it's
next
not
topic.
on.
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
I'm like, this is like a very powerful thing going on in this country right now. But strange enough, I've read all the books. The vast majority of people I've talked to have not read the books. So a lot of people don't even know there are books. They're just all about the TV
A
show.
lot of people don't read any books after high school.
That's sad. I love reading. You wouldn't think so
I
by
believe
watching
in
me
the
in this
credits.
podcast.
I believe the credits say, based on the novels by
They probably
George.
can't read them.
How many
R.R.
people
Martin.
stick around for the credits?
I
I
like
actually
that.
stay
I
at the
like
start
that
of
map
the
thing.
start of the show because it's a 2-minute and 45-second introduction.
It is
And the
long.
last thing that blast says based on the books by blah blah blah.
That's because people at work told me, I was like, I've read all the books, and some people's like, they're books.
Well, that's because they watch on HBO Go and they skip
Oh,
the.
okay.
I have
I
never seen that
tried
show.
reading the books. It wasn't my cup of tea.
Not at
It's
all.
not my genre.
I don't like them that much.
You read all of them, but you.
Well, once I started,
It's pretty thick.
I want to finish it. And my biggest problem with this series, and because I watched an episode, I think 2 Sundays ago, it was the wedding of Sansa Stark. And are you really coming over here for beer? Dude, there's no more beer. You're on the podcast. Get out of the podcast. God dang.
Don't get pissed.
Get out of here.
Get out
We
of here.
can't get pissed because there's no beer to get pissed on.
So find us something. So what I was talking about is the last episode, Sansa Stark get married. Get ready for spoiler or skip ahead 2 minutes. Is everyone here fine if I talk about the books and
I've never
stuff?
seen
that
it,
was
and I
2
don't plan
episodes
to
ago,
ever
so
watch
go
it.
ahead.
I don't want you to go too far into the books if it's something that may happen on the series.
No. It's just
But if
a
it's
difference
a-
between
Well, here,
Yeah,
Jeff,
if it's
Jeff, I
where
can tell
they
you the books.
diverge,
Anybody you
then,
like dies.
Yeah.
So my problem with that is in the book, it's not her that gets married. It's her friend. And they just, they switch him around. They have Theon Greyjoy. And the only reason he's there really is because he knows who she is and vouches that this is actually Sansa. So they make him lie.
I thought somebody was posing as Arya in the books. I don't know.
Aura, yeah, the younger girl, they think they have her, but they're not doing anything to her. I'm talking about just the wedding bit.
I got you.
And people are like, oh, they were so horrible to her during the wedding scene. Basically, Theon took his, or not Theon, but the other guy took
Ramsay
his
Bolton.
Bolton, who's a scumbag in the book. Far, far worse than the movie.
He's pretty bad.
But there's,
In the books, he's far worse.
but
I can't even talk about
There's
what he
always
does.
artistic license. They're going to take from the books and the movies.
Yeah,
because
but
people want to see stuff. It's just like when you watch movies that say based on actual events. There's maybe one event in that movie that actually happened,
I understand
and they
they're
want to
changing
pass it
things
off
around.
as real.
Well, and they also have a timeline issue as well
Yes.
because George R.R. I mean, obviously, to write a novel where all these characters have that much backstory and everything is that thick, he's going to slow down on his writing. And these guys are wanting to bang out more episodes too,
Yeah.
so they're kind of having to go ahead.
But what you see in the series is after each season ends, when the new season starts, stuff is advanced like 2 years, 4 years, 6 years.
That's why here too.
Stuff like that happens.
Yeah, but I think so. I watched this scene and people were saying how terrible it was what happened to her. And my big thing is like, well, back in medieval times, which is what this book is basically about, lots of older guys married younger girls. They didn't necessarily want to be there. That was a commonplace thing. And the second thing is in the book, what actually happens in that scene is much worse.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't get into a position of thinking that Game of Thrones is a historically accurate.
No, but he does bring in a lot of that period of time and like how things were. And the book goes with some of that stuff. So it's like in medieval times, a lot of that stuff happened, and it wasn't necessarily like that's not a terrible thing. Young girls were forcibly married to guys because it was good for land and wealth and stuff for the family. But in the book, it goes further than that. It's not just that. It's that the things that he does to her and stuff like that that's so terrible.
Well, I mean, I think that these guys aren't watching. Neither of you are watching, right?
I'm watching it, but that's the thing is, in books, you're always going to be more descriptive. That's why I used to always read, I've read every Stephen King book ever done. When I was younger, I always hated watching the movies, because the difference is, he has 1,200 pages to describe, in a book. So he'll take 20 pages to describe one thing that happened. But a 2-hour movie, you can't do that, so you got to compress some stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're reading Game of Thrones, expecting it to be word by word, paragraph by paragraph, you better have 7 years to watch just one season, because it takes forever. It can't be done. You have to have some artistic license to cut some stuff out and compress some stuff.
Yeah.
I think what Scott was talking about, though, is the rape of Sansa in that episode.
Yeah.
Which I'm not in a position to be able to say whether or not that is super offensive or not. But I can say that I don't think it was necessary to show the villainy of this character who is known for basically flaying his victims and skinning them as a means of torture.
I think it was more to show.
I also
that
don't think it was the worst thing I've ever seen on that show.
I think it was actually more to show that she was sold out by what's his nuts?
Littlefinger.
Yes. In the book that doesn't happen. Okay.
Well, or it's possible. I might be misinterpreting it, but it may be that Littlefinger underestimated the sociopathic tendencies of Ramsay, because when Ramsay and Littlefinger are talking, he says, "I'll never hurt her. I'll never." We know he's a bad person because of what he did to Theon, but it's not clear to me that Littlefinger necessarily knows that.
You know what really sucks is being a woman in that book series. I'd say any girl in that series who isn't like the queen level, it's
even the
queen
level
doesn't matter
even
anymore.
at the queen level, it's like you're going to get raped. And I remember girls telling me, I was like, if you're a mom in that book, you might as well bring your daughters up being like, well, you're going to get raped at some point. It sucks, but let's try and learn about this. And girls like,
we're going to have a parenting podcast after this.
And they're like, that's so offensive. Like
that song,
girl.
Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys?
Yes, something like that.
Scott has one. Mamas Resign Your Children to Rape.
Yes. Because, whenever there's, whether it's knights, whether it's looters in that book, any group of guys that go through a village, they murder, they pillage, and they rape. Every single village.
Yeah, but that was the reward in the Middle Ages.
Well, yeah, but even in the Middle Ages...
That's actually true to life.
At some point, the peasants rose up if they overdid it. In this one, it's
only if they had
single
swords.
place. No, they made... That's like the longbow and stuff was relatively cheap for the peasant to be able to make and shoot. They could take off guys, go through people's armor and stuff like that. And that's how, these weapons and guerrilla tactics were made, because they had to fend these guys off. And I think if it was on the scale of the books...
Guerrillas?
In armor. Gorillas
in armor. That would be scary.
Try and put that in there. You guys are so...
That would be really
You
scary.
guys are so hard to deal with sometimes.
All right, next topic.
Ooh.
Next topic.
Okay, we don't need to talk about it.
We went off scale
Try
there.
to be serious.
About Game of Thrones.
About Game of Thrones, yes. I just think it's not... I can't get into it. I think it's far too harsh.
I'm just surprised there hasn't been a porn made yet called Game of Bones.
Game of Bones.
There probably has.
There might
will now
have
be.
been.
Yes, that they're going to see this.
What are you doing right
I'm going to
now?
copyright that shit.
What are you doing right now,
Yeah.
Steve?
Talking about the porn I'm going to produce.
You kind of look like that dude that smuggled Peter Dinklage's character, Al.
Oh,
Ferris.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a topic? Or did you want me to go on to my other topic?
Go ahead,
I'm
buddy.
very excited about this one. Fallout 4 has been announced this week.
That trailer
What the
was
hell is
awesome.
that?
Oh, did you? Oh, so you're excited about this too?
Yeah. I played a lot of Fallout 3,
Uh-huh.
and there was like an expansion pack, I think, for 3.
Is
Yeah,
this a single
you
player
that I
game, or
played,
is it like
yeah.
multi-
Enjoyed that quite a bit. And I did not play
Well, you guys always
2
played
or 1.
Call of Duty.
I
so.
played
Yeah,
all
we
of
played
them.
Call of Duty.
1, 2, Tactics, 3,
I think it's
New
single player.
Vegas, and now 4 is coming out. And they're going to do a big announcement E3, probably even more. Hopefully they'll say when. Hopefully it's in 2015, I hope. And a little bit more about the character development. But yeah, hopefully some people watching know what Fallout is. I think it is one of the biggest video games ever made. I think really it has reached more people on more platforms and stuff.
I believe Pac-Man has a beat.
I don't know. I think for nowadays, I think
Pac-Man
Fallout.
has a slightly more involved storyline.
Yes.
No, Fallout was fantastic, and what I really enjoyed about Fallout 3, I'm assuming it's the same thing with its previous versions, is your decisions kind of paint the character you are. You don't have to be a hero. You know, you could be an anti-hero. You could make the wrong choices.
Absolutely. Yep.
And be a villain really, if you wanted.
And it'll follow you. You know, choices you make will affect people down the line.
Yeah.
So then why is
Almost like a
why
choose
is
your
anybody
own
going to
thing.
play that? Because in our society today, your choices are not supposed to affect you. You're not supposed to have consequences.
Uh-oh. So, okay, you'll have to talk about that. What do you mean?
I mean, that is anti to what our entire society is based on today. There are no consequences for your actions. If you make a mistake, I made a mistake, and somebody else will fix it and take care of it, and I'm done.
Uh-oh, I think we're going to get some political talk here, huh?
No, that's my opinion.
Jeff, you have a...
Do I have a counterpoint? No.
So we all
No,
agree
I mean,
right now.
I wouldn't say I agree. I just don't have a... He didn't say anything that I feel like it contradicts. Well, I mean, if there was a specific example, then...
And I am saying it in pun, but it does relate to what... I can't believe people would be able to play that because if there's consequences for your actions... Sorry, I saw the shadow and I...
It's escapism.
Oh, yeah.
So if what you're saying is true, where people do not have repercussions for their decisions in real life, then this is escapism into a land that does have repercussions.
But I would think
I
they
didn't
would
know
make
about
the
this.
game...
No one told me that there's no...
I would think nobody'd want to play
I
the
wasn't
game
aware
because
of that
if there's
either.
consequences for your actions.
I feel
As
like...
that beard just flew off my mustache into your shirt.
Okay,
Sorry
it's been
about
happening
that.
all night.
Yeah.
I'm getting used to it. I thought it was raining at first.
Have you been opening your mouth to try to catch any...
Look, that beard, that rain's very happy.
Well, Alicia, you've been quiet this podcast.
Because I don't know anything about anything we're talking about. Except for problem drinking. I'm pretty good on that.
Oh, okay.
I do that.
All right.
Well, do you have a topic you'd like to discuss?
You've been into running a lot lately.
Yeah?
You can talk about that big race, that thing we're doing here in Tucson. With the magnets. The magnet...
Are they magnetic?
Yeah, they're magnetic. They're all 3 of them are going to magnetize. So talk to...
Yeah, so we're doing this series of races called the Gabe Zimmerman Triple Crown. I don't want to call it the wrong thing because Elliot called it the George Zimmerman Triple Crown, which is a completely different sport.
What's that? You shoot 3
That's
people
another
in the
thing,
middle?
but
Yeah.
it's much
No, it's
more
actually
controversial.
so just like how these races go from a 5K to an 8 mile to a half marathon. With the George Zimmerman thing, you have to start small, like with I'm saying with the George Zimmerman, you would start with some DV and then you'd escalate to something else, and then you would shoot someone.
Gotcha. So go deep.
Is that what he did though? Does he try to start it with what
No,
some
he
might
didn't
call
do it right. But I'm
murder?
saying if this were a
I
George
see.
Zimmerman Kurt Triple Crown, that's how it would. That's how it would
Minutes?
go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, quick, describe the race.
But anyway,
for 30
this is
minutes.
we had a 5K last Saturday, and then on Labor Day it's going to be an 8 mile race, or you can do it as a 5K. And yeah, if you want some information on it, you just look up the Gabe Zimmerman.
Zimmerman.
And I'm
one's-
assuming it's a
the last
fundraiser
one's a
for
half
that
marathon.
foundation, or
Yeah, Gabe Zimmerman was killed on January 8th when Gabby Giffords was shot in 2011. And he was an avid this benefits a number of charities.
And it's a lot of fun. Everyone that goes out there, there are a lot of little groups. I saw the children, and then I saw the I'm like, I'm talking, and then there's, and we're like, hey everybody.
We just censor the whole thing,
Censor
and
that?
then act like it was classified information for work that you weren't supposed to share.
Yes, okay, so we'll do something like that. I can't wait to see your editing on this. But the medal, it's for a great cause, and the medal's really, I've never seen one. It's 3 parts, and once you finish all 3 of them, they magnetize together to make one medal.
Yeah, so if you haven't started yet, you're screwed. You can't have
There
the
you
first
go.
one.
That's cool.
All right, so we feeling pretty good about this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody got anything else to add?
Come on, play kickball. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And kickball520.com.
Bring
sign
your
up.
own beer.
Yes.
Sign up,
Bring your own
comment.
beer.
Shut
Quit
up.
stealing beer.
He's talking, man's talking.
Sign up, comment, participate in the discussions.
Good discussions. Kickball520.com. Alrighty.
The end.
Well, everyone, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye. I'm going to hit that.